Welcome back, guys. It's another day, another week, and another banner, guys. Today we're going over, you've guessed it, the Final Fantasy IX banner. I have some things to say about some of the characters, some how they were handled, but we'll get to that when we get to those characters. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be some good news, it's going to be some bad news, and it's going to be a little bit of what the heck, man. Why do we do this to some of our favorite characters in Final Fantasy? I just don't understand it. I just don't get it. But let's start here right away. Let's get into it. Thank you guys for the support via Patreon. You guys are fantastic out there. Helps out a bunch. Thank you guys for becoming YouTube channel members as well. And it's been a busy week covering War of the Visions as well as FFB, streaming a bunch. We're streaming again today. It's going to be Thursday. I lost track of the time and everything. Hopefully, guys, you're staying safe out there. But let's get in here. Rakeish Thief Zidane. I'm going with Zidane. Rakeish Thief Zidane. I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. CG character, and I'm not going to lie right here if you want to skip over this character. I know a lot of you fans out there are going to want to hear some things because this is the character I have to say the most about, honestly, with how he was handled. But we'll say that after we get through his kit there. He was not done justice at all in any way, shape, or form, and I'm not the biggest Final Fantasy fan out there of 9 anyway, but I know a lot of you guys are, and a lot of you guys were waiting for this character because I read you guys' comments as much as possible. I remember a bunch of people love 9. This is your boy, and that's kind of how it is. All right, so let's get in TMR here. Thievery, attack 40% when equipped with a dagger, attack 30% when equipped with a sword. So in order for this to be like not absolute dog shit tier, basically, this needs to be, you have to have a sword and a dagger on. That's the only thing. You have to have a good sword, you have to have a good dagger, otherwise it's giving you either 30 or 40% attack. So if you want to proc his trust ability, you don't have a super TMR, you're using this bad boy. His super TMR is the ultimate weapon. It is a one-handed 173 attack dagger that gives you ultimate thief sword, which gives you 50% true dual wield. So it's another one of these weapons. We've seen these before. Zantetsuken from Radiant Lightning, whatever the fist is called from Carton. Now we have ultimate weapon here. So very strong super TMR option. Daggers, very easy to equip on a lot of characters. 50% true dual wield in your weapon slot, very strong. The one downside for a dagger is that the rare ability in Item World, you know, it's not 20% attack, not 20% HP like a lot of the other ones are. It's 150% high tide. So that could be a plus, could be a minus, depends on who you're putting this on. But that's the one difference of this weapon compared to the other ones. His equipment selection: daggers, swords, throwing weapons, fist weapons, flails. For some reason, I don't remember Zidane using flails in 9, but all right. You can wear a light shield, hats, clothing, a light armor as well there. Now let's get into his stuff here. He's got your typical, yeah, I'm a thief, I steal stuff. So he's got life steal, magic steal, mug, not that big of a deal. He's got a low multiplier roll rate chaining skill. He does have an 80% wind and barrel attached to a wind and view for himself with Stardust Ray. Very low mod there, 2.7. His first cooldown skill that he learns at 6-star is high speed dash, 10 turn cooldown, gives him 9 stacks of Mirage for 9 turns to the caster, increases the multiplier of Sequential Edge by 2.0 for 9 turns, as well as free energy, Mio Twister, and Shift Break by 2.5, Magic Steal plus another Ice Steal stuff, 30 MP basically stealing, super low mod, 2.1. Stardust Ray here again with speedy evasion, 1 Mirage stack for 3 turns to all allies, so that's going to be something pretty good. We've seen something like this with the likes of Riku. So Stardust Ray here with a Mirage stack for your whole party, that's some decent utility there. Debilitating air, 120% wind and peril for 1 enemy there on Stardust Ray. Then he's got his 7-star skills. Get it in here. Notice so far his modifiers are super duper low in these skills. Speedy boost, 250% attack buff for 5 turns to the caster, 5 stacks of Mirage to the caster. Speedy Air, 5 turn cooldown, available on 1. 100% wind resist buff for the caster, 2 stacks of Mirage for 3 turns to the caster. Building Edge, 4 turn cooldown, available on turn 4. 5 times mod in the first 9 hits, 25 times mod on that final hit with a 200% limit burst damage buff for 2 turns to the caster, also Stardust Ray. So you build up the Building Edge, you build up your limit burst damage, you do some damage here. This is the first respectable mod that you've seen here with this character. Then we have Sequential Edge here. Stardust Ray, this is his main spamming move. 0.5 mod in the first 9 hits with ignore 50% defense, and then 2.5 mod with ignore 50% defense on that final hit there. It also does give a multiplier boost of 3.0 for 1 turn to the caster, 2 Sequential Edge. So the first time you hit with this, very low mod. Then it gets that nice 3.0 mod that does go in there multiple times, 4 times. So it's going to be a 12.0 mod overall. And then, just your sequential edge is going to be up damage a little bit, because it starts out base before any other mod boost from Sequential Edge itself or from your passives, right? 1.0 and 5.0, 6.0 plus another 12, 18.0, and that is still absolutely terrible. So we need to get this multiplier up from some passives down below. This also does increase the multiplier of free energy, Mio Twister, and Shift Break, which notably we have not seen yet. So those will be unlocked later on by 3.5 for 1 turn as well. And this is also a Stardust Race skill. Now his passives, he's got skill, which casts auto skill at the start of the battle or being revived. We'll get to that. He's got some defense passives. He's got some Steel Gill passives thrown in here. He's got a really shitty old passive that I haven't seen since the likes of 2015. Great Endurance, where you cure all status ailments after the battle. Honestly, I have not seen something like this. This used to be like a quality of life thing back when we got those big exploration maps, right? This used to be on like 4-star, 3-star, 2-star units even. I swear, back in the day, oh, the battle's over. I'm no longer poisoned. No one cares about this. This is terrible. He does have enabled dual wield here, dagger expertise, attack, defense, and spirit plus 30% with another 50% attack when equipped with a dagger. Baku's training paid off. Attack and MP with MP High Tide. He does have 20% base evasion there, 100% success rate in stealing items. He does have the true dual wield cap at least, 40% evasion here between Speedmaster and Danger Sensor. Facing Your Fears, he's a fan of Kingdom Hearts 3. Definitely playing that song all day. Defense and Spirit passive here, 30%. Some buffs to Mio Energy, Free Energy, and Shift Break, as well as 100% High Tide. His Trust ability here, 40% attack and HP, immune to Stop and Charm. 2.0 mod to Mio Twister, Free Energy, and Shift Break by 2.5, and 3.5 to Sequential Edge. So that's going to be a big buff there. 14.0 mod. We said it was 18 before with the Sequential Edge buff itself. So another 14 on that is pretty decent there with all things said and done on this character. So you're looking at like, what is that, like a 32 times mod right there? Nothing terrible, but nothing insane at the same time. Unleash Power, he's a CG character, starts with that limit burst, HP plus 20%, and another little bit of true dual wield passive there. I do believe this adds up to a whopping 100% true dual wield. You do want that true dual wield. He is a true dual wield character. And you want that passive from his Trust ability. Due to the multiplier increases, you have to be worrying his super TMR or his TMR or this character is going to be doing absolutely no damage in this day and age. Now, skill here enables Flee, Sacrifice, Soul Blade, and double skill for you, so you do get dual cast at the start of the battle here. You can run away. If you're using CG Zidane, you can definitely run away from a fight. Hopefully this will work for you, but I don't think you'll be able to beat any encounters or trial bosses in this manner. He does have Soul Blade, which is also a trash skill that you shouldn't use. Very nice. 3 random status elements at a 30% proc rate. Sacrifice, you can kill yourself if you're sick of using this character with 100% unresistible death to heal your teammates HP and MP by a whopping 30%. That is definitely the most worthwhile use of a character in my party 100% of the time. He does have double skill, which does give him a double cast for a lot of stuff. And then he does have some other skills down here, Free Energy, Shift Break, and Mio Twister. All 3 of them Stardust Race skills. Shift Break actually does a 74% attack break, which is pretty decent there. And then you have Free Energy and Mio Twister, where Mio Twister literally has a 0.5 multiplier increase base over Free Energy. How unique that is. He does have triple cast here from triple skill, which comes from Climax Edge, which you've guessed is his limit burst name, which is wind physical damage. So he is wind elemental locked 100% on his LB. I have no idea why this is automatically wind locked. So any sort of thing. We've gotten quality of life fixes for other characters. I'm going to start getting into why this character makes me so upset. We've seen other quality of life characters fixes for this, like Ong came out, right? Ong used to be fire locked on his limit burst. Big part of his kit. Fire locked in his LB. Was a big problem for him in a lot of situations. He could try to play with other elements via imbues or his own wind imbue or whatever. And they, with his latents, they took that off because they realized that that's a downside. They know that being elementally locked to your limit burst is a downside. Zidane is always wind damage LB, always wind damage LB. He's dual wield, so you have a lot of different elemental weapons to throw on him. Doesn't matter what you want to do with him, he's always wind damage. The multiplier is not insane either. It's not even really that strong. It's 35 times mod. It also does enable triple skill, Free Energy, Mio Twister, and Shift Break for 10 turns, which is very, very nice, and the limit burst cost is 34. But this character, you can't release a character like King freaking Bradley, Edward Elric, and then not buff up Rakeish Thief Zidane. Even without those characters coming out, Zidane was already kind of like whatever. And then you take a character like Rakeish Thief Zidane, who's supposed to be like this hard to hit, you know, dodgy thief type character that chains up, does damage. He's all about speed and stuff like this. And he definitely needed some buffs out there. He wasn't doing the top tier damage. And like I always say, you don't need to be doing the top tier damage to having, you know, you don't have to have the best new shiniest character doing the most damage in the game to clear content. Can you do stuff with Rakeish Thief Zidane? For sure. But when you come out with a character, you take, I think the thing that makes me so upset is that this isn't the first time a CG character has been kind of like this. I think like some of the only CG OG Final Fantasy characters that really got some pretty significant buffs, even though they were done in a slightly, what's the way that I want to say it? It wasn't like, oh, we just added 50 times mods to everything. We, you know, very subtle buff. It was like Radiant Lightning, where they made her rotations and stuff a lot better. And it was actually a pretty significant buff to her. Now, they did make Rakeish Thief Zidane's stuff a little bit better, but it's just not enough. It's just not enough. And to take a character archetype like Zidane, who's supposed to be like this hard to hit, you know, sort of like dodgy character that puts up some, you know, different mirages and stuff for your character. If I look at him and I compare him to freaking Wrath, King Bradley, who just came out, who is the same concept of character, very hard to hit, you know, has mirage stacks for days on himself, does a bunch of damage, chains up. Zidane looks like a freaking choir boy of sorts. Like, he doesn't even come close to how good Wrath is in any scenario. He's not nearly as good at dodging stuff by himself, hitting 100% dodge, all this other stuff. He's not nearly as good as miraging for himself. He doesn't have 10 stacks of mirage on a Magnus ability to make him do a bunch of crazy stuff. 5 stacks on a cooldown, so he does have that. He's just not there. He does have some slight utility where you can AoE mirage for your party, but he takes such a massive damage penalty hit in comparison that it's just not even remotely funny. And I know it's very boring to sit here at the screen why I go on this mini rant, but I'm really tired of seeing it. I'm really tired of seeing it. A lot of people are saving up for their favorite. I want people's favorite characters to be, they don't need to be the best, but they need to be shown some real love. And when I saw this Climax Edge win locked, I was like, come on, you guys know that this is seen in your own group as a downside, as a pretty significant downside when you're designing characters, because you've taken this stuff off before. So he's like wind element locked. He's got a 200% limit burst damage buff. Like, he doesn't need to be the best character, but when you take a character and basically he's like a version 2 of something else. He does have 9 physical evade right here, 10 turn cooldown, very cool. And then he's got like these tiny mod buffs, these tiny mod buffs. He maxes out, like I said, on the second hit of Sequential Edge with his multiplier increase from his passive. You know, he maxes out on the second hit 1 time. So that first hit you're doing, pretty garbage. You know, you're missing out on 12 times mod there. So you're going down to 18 times mod into 232 times hits. That's just not good enough. That's just not good enough. So he's definitely the dumpster of the banner. He's not unusable, like I said, but he definitely he just rubs me the wrong way with characters. He could have gotten a little bit of love, just a little bit more love. Give him like another 6, 7, 8 times mod to his skills, and we'd be cool. It's like, okay, he's got the mirage stuff, he does this other stuff. Take the wind lock off his LB, give him like 5, 6, 7, you know, more mod on his skills, and be like, okay. That's better. He's got some other stuff that he can do utility-wise with a mirage for your party and this and that and the other thing. And you know, we'll be going our separate ways. He'd be an okay character. I wouldn't have to be super upset like I am right now. The one saving grace is that he used to have a passive cover. You know, if you guys have been around for Rajack, he used to have a passive cover for females. So if you were using like an AoE cover tank, like Charlotte or something, he'd have a chance to just, if Charlotte was about to get bot by a physical attack before her magic cover went off, he could jump in front of your female Charlotte and keep her from covering your party and get your whole party wiped, which thankfully that's gone at least. I don't know if I would really call that a global upgrade, more of a global correction, but yeah, Zidane, I'm not going to tell you guys not to pull for him. If you love him, you can get in there, you can do work with him, but not as much work as you guys should be able to do with the character that's coming out, you know, April 2nd. This is April 2nd, so this isn't even April Fool's Day video. This is 2 a.m. April 2nd for you guys. Now, thankfully, the other two characters for you Final Fantasy 9 fans out there are pretty good in their unique aspects here. So Black Mage Vivi coming in, big powerful mage. TMR here, Black Mage's potential. 50% magic when equipped with a rod, fire, ice, and lightning resistance of 20% when equipped with a hat. Honestly, not that amazing of a TMR. We've seen stuff like this before. You're gonna, randomly have the resistances matter. That'll be cool. The magic 50% is kind of whatever. It's locked to a rod, not that big of a deal. So it's just kind of whatever TMR. Mace of Zeus, 172 magic, one-handed. It's a rod, even though it's called a mace, but it's a rod with the effect of destructive power, which gives a multiplier 5 times to Doomsday, Doomsday +1, and Doomsday +2. So this is going to give you a little bit of damage on the thing that Vivi is going to be known for, and this is Doomsday, big damage in dark visions when we get that. So if you're a Vivi lover, you will be getting to use him in a new piece of content. He's going to be very good in that. That's going to be chain finishing big Doomsday smacks downs on magic weak bosses in dark visions and another content as well. So that's really what he's going to be about. It's not his only thing though. He does have some chaining potential. His equipment selection: staves, rods, and daggers. That's basically it there. Armor selection: hats, clothing, and robes. Now we're going to get in here and let's talk about the big stuff about Vivi here. He does have Cast Wave Awaken stuff. That is what he does. These multipliers do go up to 22.5. He does have Fiery Demise, Icebound Demise, and Electric Demise. These are his main Cast Wave Awaken skills. They come up here. They go up to 22.5 mod max. They start at 7.5. Each time you cast them, they go up by 2.5, 6 times each, up to 22.5 max. All right, so that's the thing that he's got there. He does have dual cast, it's called double magical potential. It's not dual cast black magic, which he does have that as well, but he's got double magical potential that allows him to dual cast his skills. He also has dual cast black magic, and secret hint here, he's gonna have quad cast black magic as well. So let's go over it here. He's got the Fire, Ice, and Lightning in peril of 80% to go with his Fire, Ice, and Lightning Chaos Wave Awaken skills. He does have Fatal Explosion, which is an 8-turn cooldown available on 8, which is a 80 times mod non-elemental magic attack, which sounds really good, but remember, it's non-element, so no imperils there. He does have Wand of Fire for some LB gauge support for your party there, but also not that big of a deal. He does have Quadruple Wall for a Fire, Ice, Lightning, and Dark resistance buff of 70% for your allies, and gives 30% magical damage mitigation for 3 turns. He also has Focus Magic here, 3-turn cooldown available on 1, 250% magic buff for 5 turns to the caster. Unlocks quadruple magical potential, not quadruple, quadruple magical potential, which allows him to quad cast his skills. Now his other skill here, Dark Fog, 5-turn cooldown available on 1, 120% dark imperil for 2 turns to all enemies, 100% dark resistance buff for 2 turns to your teammates, and unlocks quadruple black magic. Now there's one thing that a ton of viewers might have seen that I left out. Each of his Chaos Wave Awaken skills, not only do they do damage and stack their own mods, but each of them adds a 7.5 mod increase for 99,999 turns that can't be dispelled to the spell Doomsday, okay? Each one of these, and they do stack, so you can get 7.5 plus 7.5, 15 plus another 7.5. You've done it, 22.5. Just like the Chaos Wave Awaken maxes, you can max Doomsday by 22.5 by casting Fiery, Icebound, and Electric Demise at least one time. So you're gonna be able to do that. And then let's get into Doomsday before we get into his passives here. All right, let's get into it. So Doomsday is a magic spell that he does have. Magic's back, boys, an actual spell that's gonna do damage. It is dark magic damage, 7.5 mod with ignore 50% spirit, and it is a 1-hit skill. Now remember, you can add 22.5 mod to this by casting each of his Chaos Wave Awaken skills 1 time, which bring this to a 30 times mod, ignore 50% spirit, which makes it a 60 times mod, and it's an actual spell. And we go back to Dark Fog, gives him quadruple black magic, so you can quad cast a 60 times Doomsday. You need to chain finish it with someone else, but you're going to be good to go there with some chain finishing. Now, just like in Doomsday, just like Doomsday in FF9, is dark magic damage with ignore spirit to all units. This includes your own units, which isn't that big of a deal if you use it the way that it's intended. You can use it outside of this way that it's intended, but it's going to hit your own freaking team too, so you need to prepare for it. But luckily, like we said, Dark Fog decreases dark resistance to all enemies by 120%, and it gives you a 100% dark resist buff to your entire party. So what you're going to do with him is you're going to focus magic at this big magic attack buff up here for yourself for 5 turns. You're going to unlock quadruple magical potential, and you're going to be able to do whatever you want. You can like quadruple wall for some damage mitigation. You can put fire, ice, and lightning imperil on your enemies. You can do whatever it is that you want on turn 1, but you're going to be using focus magic and something else, right? Some other skill. Then on turn 2, you're going to have quadruple abilities. So on your turn 2, you're going to quadruple abilities. You're going to fiery demise, you're going to icebound demise, you're going to electric demise, and you're going to dark fog. So this gets you all 3 cast wave skills, which gives you all 3 different doomsday buffs. And then it's going to give you an imperil for next turn on your enemies and a dark resist buff for your team. And then you're going to have that quadruple actual black magic. So on turn 3, or whatever turn you decide to go off, you just quadro cast that big doomsday, boom, 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 we're all gone. So that's a thing that you can do with him. Setting his abilities up in order is going to be a big deal there. And we said it's a 60 times mod. Keep that in mind. That is before any of his passives. He does have a small passive here, 2.5 times mod increase to Doomsday. So it's to be a 5 times mod increase, so that makes it 65. And then if you do have his super TMR, the Mace of Zeus, you can get another 5 times mod increase there. Ignore 50% defense, so it's another 10 times mod. So you can get this all the way up to a 75 times mod quadricast with his STMR. So if you're a big fan of Vivi, you might want to get your hands on this thing. If you're going to specifically use him for that Doomsday, because quadricast, extra 10 times mod, that's going to give you an extra 40 times mod of burst in that turn. Might be overkill, but maybe that's what you want to do with your little favorite soulless. Maybe that was too soon, maybe too far in. Soulless mage here. Listen, okay, maybe, you know what? We're out of here. Anyway, he does have a lot of magic passives. He's not very tanky though, but he does have a couple of spirit and HP and defense passives there. He does have 100% true dual wield magic. He does have 100% true double hand magic, but he does not have dual wield base. There is no dual wield base. So if you want to go true dual wield with him, you have all that gear set up for him to true dual wield. You need to give him dual wield somehow. So keep that in mind as well. He does have some fire, ice, and lightning resistance passives when equipped with a rod, and 100% limit burst of damage there. That's pretty much Vivi though. He does a lot. He's a doomsday smacker, chain finisher, burst damage, black mage guy. That's what he is. I wish the camera was on. We were shifting left and right. Doomsday. I told you guys during the Newsday Tuesday video, which a lot of you guys didn't watch because FF9, y'all were not hyped about it. All I hear in comment section, I'm so hyped about FF9. It's my favorite game ever. Lowest rating video I've done all month, FF9. I'm telling you, this is probably the second lowest rated video I've done all month. Anyway, we have triple Doomsday, dark magic damage. It's called triple Doomsday because it is triply the less damage that spamming quadricast Doomsday does. But that's what he's going to be here about. If you want that man in your party, want to chain finish Mage for Dark Visions, Vivi is going to be the big bam kit and caboodle for your big damage on your mages. Now, last but not least is Dragon Knight Freya, another very good character for chain finishing big burst damage in Dark Visions or just in general content as well. And this is going to be your Dragoon. She does have a lot of chaining frame families. You see Divine Ruination, Absolute Mirror of Equity, Stardust Ray, and Aurora Ray, but she's going to be primarily a chain finishing character for you. And I just thought my mic was muted. I almost cried at 2:16 in the morning. Master Dragoon Knight, 30% attack, 20% HP and MP, 2 limit burst gauge damage, 2 limit burst crystals per turn, and 50% jump damage. That 212 coming in once again. Pretty strong TMR here, especially if you're like a jump damage character. You may use this, may not use this. If you're trying to proc her trust ability, this is going to be your go-to thing. Her TMR is the Holy Lance, two-handed spear. Okay, general spear variance for a two-handed weapon, 173 attack, light elemental. The effect of hyper jump, 50% jump damage, 50% limit burst gauge fill rate. So pretty strong there as well. Now remember, if you have the gear for it, Dragoons are going to excel as a true dual wield character because jumps cannot be double cast. So you can't get like double jump damage in there. But if you are dual wielding, a Dragoon will actually land 2 times. They will hit 2 times, full power, full multiplier each hit on a jump. So Very, very strong. To boil it down real quick for you, so you have a two-handed spear, which is on average 1.3 variant, so it's 30% extra damage versus a one-handed weapon. You have a 100 multiplier jump after all your bonuses. You land that 100 mod times 1.3, 130 mod, right? If you're dual wielding, 100 mod, land 100 mod, then the second hit 100 mod. Very, very, very strong. You can see 200 mod total over 1.3. A lot of cool stuff there. It's going to be a little bit different based on what your gear is, right? If you can get a little bit more jump damage, but dual wield with a little bit of gear, if you have some good true dual wield gear, right? Dual form, whatever it is, dual wield is going to be the way to go. So STMR, basically what I'm trying to say, STMR here, not all that great for people who have true dual wield gear. Now, true dual wield stuff for her, she can only wear daggers and she can only wear spears. So her best weapon's gonna be like MM's on Super TMR if you have access to that. Otherwise, she's gonna be using some sort of something to put dual wield on here. She can't wear swords, so no random Excalibur with dual wield, or in the future, Kurasame, free Kurasame Super TMR to give her dual wield. Note that. Armor selection, hats, helms, clothing, light armor, heavy armor, robes, got them all. All right, now let's get into her kit here. We have a Racist Wind, which is a little bit of HP regen over 5 turns. So 3,000 HP a turn regen for 5 turns. Spinning Leap, she just kind of like cures herself. It's kind of garbage skill. It's a garbage jump. So you can cure poison and blind and stuff. Not that big of a deal. Lancer, whatever, does give 5 LB gauge crystals to your party. That's cool. Now then we have Lunatic Aura, which is her big setup skill here. This is what you're going to use with her to set up. 250% attack buff for 6 turns to the caster. 10 times mod increase for 6 turns to Dragon King's Fang Strike. What a name. Holy Dragoon's Flight and Rain Dragon's Vault. All of these names sound like FF9 names. Can you imagine? Dragon King's Fang Strike. Whatever. And this buff can't be dispelled. Now we have Dragon King's, or Rain Dragon's Vault. I'm going to butcher these names. Rain Dragon's Vault. 12.5 times mod to one enemy, which is a Divine Ruination. When you use it, I will want you to know this right now. When you see these skills, you go, oh, do they work like Roberta's skills where she chains and comes down? No, they don't. The turn you activate these skills, there's a DR one, an AT one, and a Stardust Ray one. Oh, and an Aurora Ray one. The turn you activate them, she chains like a normal person would chain with a normal skill. Then she goes up in the air, and the next turn when she comes down, she just lands with one hit. She's your traditional, like Sid, just comes down, lands one time. These are not, I go up in the air and then I DR and come down to land on it. That's not how this works at all. I want you guys to know that. So each of these things, Divine Ruination, Absolute Mirror of Equity, Stardust Ray, they all have 12.5 mod on their chaining skill, and they're all 25 point mod jump, right? And they all get that 10.0 mod buff from Lunatic Aura, so they all will go up to 35 mod from here on out. Then we have 6 dragons, 5 turn cooldown on one. It's an HP and MP refresh to your party. Kind of whatever. It's like 100 MP per turn for 3 turns. Not that big of a deal. Burmesian Dragons, Knight Arts, whatever. 5 turn cooldown available on 5. All these dragon names, 35 times mod with an HP and MP heal to your party, very small, 5,000 HP, 100 MP. A roll ray chaining skill, and then when you land, it's a 35 times mod. Time jump. All of these are timed jumps. Okay, now this one does not get the buff from Lunatic Aura, only the other 3 spammable skills do. Now we'll move into her passives, very important. She's got level 1, 5-star right away, 150% jump damage. Then she's got a true double hand passive. And then she's got HP attack and defense passive when equipped with a spear. Jump damage 50%, that takes it to 200. Another true double hand passive. Attack and spirit, 30%, then an additional 20%, so up to 50% from this Memories of Fratley passive when equipped with the spear. Her TMR ability is another 150% jump damage, which is huge, and then another 100% true double hand. So very, very strong. Even if you're not going true double hand build, you're going to be putting her TMR on. You're not going to be using her true double hand spear if you're using her dual wield, but you're still going to have her TMR on for this 150% jump damage. It's insane. Her TMR is also pretty good. Remember, her TMR also comes with 50% jump damage on it, as well as some attack and HP. So this is going to net you 200% jump damage for having it equipped versus not. So you need to have that on. MP plus 20%, and then attack plus 50%, LB gauge 150. And then her LB here, Cherry Blossom, physical damage 36 mod. And then here it is, boys. Increased multiplier times 15 for 11 turns. Burmesian Dragon Knight Arts. Dragon King Fang Strike, Holy Dragon's Flight, Rain Dragon's Vault, and Spinning Leap. Even the garbage jump gets a buff here. So 15 times mod increase right here, and then another 10 times mod increase from Lunatic Aura. So that's going to be a 25 times mod increase, which brings her jumps up to a 60 times multiplier, or not 60, 50 times multiplier. And it brings this one up to a full 50 times multiplier. Right here, the Vermisian Dragon Knight Arts, 50 times mod versus the Dragon King's Fang Strike of getting the full extra multiplier increase there of 25. So they all go to 50. Very strong, very strong. If I said 60, I apologize. I can't add. I can't math right now. 15 plus 10 is 25. 25 plus 25 is 50. 25 plus 25 is indeed 50, ladies and gentlemen. How strong is that? That is very, very powerful. She's going to be a little bit ahead of burst damage of Sid, and the other cool thing about her, right, you limit burst, you do whatever with your limit burst, get that long-lasting big damage boost to your jumps, and then you go ahead and you get the burst damage increase from Lunatic Aura. And remember, these buffs last several turns, so you can jump, land, jump, land, jump, land. Unlike Sid, who has to use his cooldown skill, jump up in the air, land, use a cooldown skill, jump up in the air, land, use a cooldown skill, jump up in the air, land. She cuts those middleman turns out of using extra cooldown skills. So she takes an extra turn to set up, but then she goes. She jumps, lands, jump, land, jump, land. So very, very, very nice damage in that facet. I'm going to preemptively answer this question really quickly. How she doesn't have any true dual wield. Why tell me she's better true dual wield? Dragoons are the only thing in the game for the most part where if you have a couple pieces of gear, they just work way better than the designers of the game intended them to work. They did not intend them to work with true dual wield, right? They tried it with Roberta. They tried to balance around Roberta by lowering her mods. That's why she doesn't have 60 and 50 times multiplier jumps, because she's a true dual wield character, because that only takes you so far. But just because being able to hit 2 times with a jump is just how the game works, having these multipliers being able to become doubled by landing 2 times if you have the gear, even if she doesn't have true dual wield passive, just like Sid, is the build for you to go for. That's the build for you to shoot for. So if you have like Hermes sandals laying around, or Onion Knight TMRs, or whatever it is in dual forms, if you can get her to 200% true dual wield, you have to get her up there from 0. But if you can get her up there, just like Sid, you're going to be doing so much more damage. I've released a bunch of videos about Sid and stuff and why they work that way. If you can do it, that's the way you want to go with them. It is an insane amount of extra damage with just a 200% true dual wield gear from somewhere. It doesn't have to be like crazy super TMRs, like upgrade package and stuff. Put some Hermes sandals on them, put the, like, whatever the Onion Knight TMR is called, Onion Knight boots. I don't even know what they're called. When you put them on there, very strong. So Dragon Knight Freya, very solid option. Best Dragoon in the game by far. Big burst damage and big burst consecutive damage, right? You can set her up, you LB, you use her cooldown skill, jump lane, jump lane, jump lane, very strong. Black Mage Vivi with the Doomsday, and then Rakeish Thief Zidane is stop doing this. The character, stop taking a character that definitely needs buffs, you know, based on other things. And I don't know what it is with the CG characters. I don't have any idea. I'm not going to play like devil's advocates, like, oh, maybe it's because they're just city designs and they're not allowed to buff them that much. That makes no fucking sense. There's too many people that are fans of these main title Final Fantasy characters, and I appreciate the quality of life updates that like all the other characters seem to get. What is with these characters like Sense Lightning, who was really the only one that got massive changes, even though they were subtle? Bart's got a couple, but that was it. That come out, right? They don't get buffs. Like Onion Knight, Noctis, Paladin Cecil didn't need them. Warrior Light didn't need them. Furion though, definitely needed them. There's a couple other ones too, you know, that might need them too. But definitely a couple. They just really don't like changing the characters that need them when they're the main title characters for some reason. I don't know what it is about that. So hopefully this is the last time this sort of thing happens. Thank you guys so much for the support. Hopefully I didn't ramble too hard about being angry about some sort of things. Hopefully you stuck around for the Vivi and the Freya and stuff. I try to be as concise, give you the information that's important for these characters. If you want to see more stuff like this, as well as for War of the Visions, try that game out. I'm having fun with it. If you want to come and hang out, like always, no matter what it is we're doing, just Twitch talks or FFBE, War of the Visions, some other games. We'll be playing Resident Evil 3 this weekend. Good time, big Corona fun. hanging out there. You know, obviously the nemesis says stars, but he just actually might have been saying SARS the whole time. And I'm gonna get demonetized for that. We're gonna have to solve that mystery. So if you want to solve that mystery with us, come and take a walk with us on twitch.tv. The link's in the description down there for you guys. All right, thank you guys so much for the support. If you want to see more stuff, like I said, subscription button, notification bell on, YouTube channel memberships, and Patreon supporters. Thank you once again, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, guys.